The Flamingo is an iconic property on the Las Vegas Strip. Flamingo's casino opened its doors on the day after Christmas in 1946, and the first hotel rooms were ready only a couple of months later, which means that the Flamingo is the oldest casino hotel on the Las Vegas Strip, which is still in operation. Of course, the property has been upgraded countless times in the past 80 years. The 28-story towers were constructed much later than that 1946 date. Hilton owned the property for several decades, and the place was even called the Flamingo Hilton. The tower where my room was located was built in 1996. I booked an accommodation that they call a Fab room with a king bed for a one-night stay. The room is quite spacious. There's about 300 square feet in the living area, and that's not including the entryway and the bathroom.
Pretty nice sized room, king bed, nightstand with a lamp, a desk with another lamp, bureau.
My room looked down over the pool area, which wasn't very interesting because it was cold and rainy during my stay.
Over here in the closet, there's a room safe. And a luggage rack. And there's also an iron back in there. Both of the nightstands seem to have some scratches on them. Quite a bit of scratching, actually. Both on this one on this side and this one over here on the other side. A big heads up to you, there are no USB connections in this room. So if you're planning on plugging in your devices, you'll need to bring an outlet so that you can plug the USBs in, because there just aren't any in this room. A little bit of an homage to the history of this hotel here on the artwork. I believe the Flamingo is the oldest of the existing strip hotels, opened by Bugsy Siegel, if I'm not mistaken.
The bathroom was clean and adequately sized, not spacious like the rest of the room, but certainly not cramped either. There was a hair dryer, and I really like that the Flamingo still provides toiletries in travel-sized containers instead of in the bulk dispensers that seem to have become the norm in so many places.
Looks like we do have personal size amenities as opposed to the bottles of goo on the wall. I like that. A shower tub combination with curtains.
If you stay here midweek when there's not a large convention in town, you can often get really good rates here, and that's even after you include the mandatory resort fee, which tacks an additional $50 onto the cost. I got a room rate of $59 for my stay. When coupled with the resort fee of $49.95 and the taxes, which, by the way, are levied against both the room charge and the resort fee, I still paid only $123, which I think is a good value for this room. I didn't have a car to park on this trip, and you should know that the parking fee would be higher on weekends. Now, about that resort fee, just like all of the other resorts in Vegas, the resort fee is a mandatory charge. It's not optional, and there's not any real value in it. So just look at it as a part of your room charge. I believe that the resort fees listed by the hotel included in-room internet, free local calls, and use of the pool area. Now, of course, in my mind, pool, and internet are things that should be included in any hotel stay anyway. And I can't remember which decade it was when I last used the phone in a hotel room. So, like I said, there's no actual value to the guest for the resort fee. It's just a way for the hotel to advertise rates that are $50 lower than what the guest will actually be charged. The Flamingo has all of the amenities that you would expect in Las Vegas. Of course, there is a casino, and I found it to be a friendly casino. Even found $10 craps tables, food court, restaurants, and shops. Now, here's a small money saving tip for you. I found that every restaurant in the food court charged the same shocking price for a bottle of water, $6.95. That's just outrageous. When I looked in the gift shop, there wasn't even a price displayed on the shelf for the water they were selling, so I knew better than to buy it there. But here's a hack for you. I discovered that there's a vending machine right at the rideshare pickup area that sells bottles of water for less than half of that price, only $3. Now, I know that saving $4 isn't exactly earth-shattering, and it might not be worth the effort to walk all the way over there just to get a bottle of water. But if you're arriving on Uber anyway, you might want to pick up some water while you're over in that part of the property. The Flamingo also has at least one amenity that you might not expect, the Flamingo Garden. It's a quiet green space on the back side of the casino away from the crowds and chaos from the strip, and it has ponds with koi fish, lots of shade, and of course flamingos. That garden is completely free to everyone, whether they're staying at the hotel or not, so you definitely should go down and check it out during your stay. And my final observation is that the location of the Flamingo can't be beat. It's right in the heart of the Strip, across from Caesar's Palace in Paris and catty corner from Bellagio. I just loved staying in the heart of the Strip, and it's a definite selling point for the Flamingo, especially at the price points you can find here. So, to wrap up this review, the big question is, would I stay here again? And the answer is undoubtedly yes, especially at the price I paid. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I'd ask that you'd give it a thumbs up so that YouTube will share it with other people as well. And if you enjoy the content on my channel, I'd be honored to have you as a subscriber. This is Postcard Dan in Las Vegas.